Hey, I hope you're good. So this week I've got a Roland System 500 that Roland UK have sent me to demonstrate, so huge thank you to them. But due to the ongoing generosity of some wonderful people behind the scenes, I've got a Roland System 100M from 1978 and a Roland SH-5 from 1976. Now the reason that's significant is that the Roland System 500 is inspired by the 100M, as I'm sure you can see, but the multi-mode filter on the SH-5 has inspired the 505 module on the System 500 as well. So I thought it'd be interesting to get the three of them together, making music so you can get a comparison of the flavour of them all. So what I'm going to do is a musical demo. I'm not going to play the square wave on one, the square wave on the next, the square wave on the next with an oscilloscope, because whilst that has a purpose and I'm not knocking that, that's not the kind of comparison that I would want to do. I'd want to do a musical comparison. So I'm going to do 16 bars or so with all the sounds coming from the System 500, then 16 bars from the SH5, 16 bars from the 100M, and then come back together at the end with all of them playing at the same time and see what that sounds like. And then I'll come back at the end of the video and give you my thoughts. So there we go, there was my little comparison of these three synths running together. That wasn't a scientific comparison, as I said early on, it was more of a musical, contextual flavour type thing. I think the System 500 is excellent. The System 100M is one of my favourite synths of all time, so the bar is set very high if you say something is inspired by it, and I think the System 500 stands up very well. In terms of the 505 multimode filter and the SH-5 filter, I could get similar sounds out of the two of them. I don't think they're supposed to be exactly the same, but you can certainly get the same kind of sounds. It's certainly got a Roland family sound to it. So it's an excellent synth, I think. So I'm a big Roland fan, of course, but being objective, there are always going to be little things that aren't quite perfect on any instrument. And there are a couple of things on this, so I'll tell you. So the first thing I found was that when you switch octave on the oscillators, there was a little blip, an audible blip. And I don't know if that's because this is a demo unit that's sent out for people to show, or whether they're all like that. I'd be interested to know if anyone's got one. It's not a problem if you're just setting the scaling of the oscillators, but if you want to switch octaves on the fly, it making an audible blip when you do that is a little bit of an issue. So I don't know if Roland have commented on that or aware of that, but that was one thing. The other thing, and this isn't a Roland criticism, is that obviously on Eurorack scale is much smaller, so I'm a bit spoilt and used to big vintage pieces like this, and you get more throw on the sliders and on the potentiometers. So when you've got loads of cables and you've patched something up, it's easier to find your way around a bigger instrument than it is Eurorack. If you're used to Eurorack, that's not going to be a problem, but I just had to get used to getting my fingers in and under the patch cables and stuff. The other thing is just a suggestion, really. The 100M has this multi-jack at the bottom, so you can bring a signal down and split it in three, or you can bring three signals down and split it into one, or three into one, send that into another multi, and then you've split it into three. And that kind of thing is very useful. It's a utility, I guess. And if they are making another module, I think a multi-jack utility would be a good one. But on the whole, it's a fantastic synth. The oscillators sound great. The filters, both the low pass and the multi-mode, sound really cool. The envelopes are really tight and snappy if you want them to be, which is great for percussive sounds. The phase shifter's really cool. It's got the 6-channel mix with voltage control panning as well. There's lots you can do with it. Really easy to use, really easy to mix as well. I think that's a big thing with Roland synths for me. When you put them in a track, you often don't have to do a whole lot to get them to sit together. It's one of the best things about Roland synths, I think, and this has definitely got that character to it as well. So I do recommend this. You can, of course, buy the whole system, or you can buy individual modules as per your need. But I think if you get one of these, you're not going to be disappointed, and I would stand by that, and that's an objective opinion. I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of Roland. I think I would happily own one of these if Roland want to leave it with me. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that was interesting, and I will catch you on the next video.